the straight line. And now what we have is we have to enter into these two units also, that is scaling up of agroforestry and farmer entrepreneurship. This is a value addition we are primarily looking forward in the already working of the agroforestry activities in the KVK. First is the agroforestry concept. I'm not going to tell you about the theory, but in the agroforestry extension mechanism, we have divided particularly this concept into these four parts. That is agroforestry, potential benefit, multifunctional agroforestry system in India, and impediment to the adoption of agroforestry. Important is that in Government of India, as pointed out by Dr. Handa also, that we are the first leader in the countries, developing countries, where agroforestry national policy was framed and notified in 2014. Government of India has already taken up and provided $350 million. And trends are continuing to accelerate this rate. Within short span of the policy, we have there is an expansion of agroforestry area to 140,000 hectares. Additional planting more than 50 million trees. Establishment of more than 3,000 wood-based industries and 368 new nurseries for production of quality planting material has been added of this national agroforestry policy. So this gives a very encouraging feedback to us that our agroforestry activities and carbon farming activities are going in a big way. What is multifunctional agroforestry systems in India? Let me give you a brief of that. Forest Survey has estimated that 2.68 billion trees outside forests exist. Earlier, we had a big issue that the trees under social forestry is by the society, for the society in the common land. But now the forest department or the forest institutes and the forest sector has themselves accepted and surveyed that what is the potential of the trees outside forests, that is in the farmland. More recent estimate says that 92,769 kilometers, that is 2.82 to be very exact, around 3% is under tree cover in the India in the non-forest area. And trees in agro ecosystem have increased to the extent under forest is 6.63%. This is a complementary role the agroforestry has played. In India, even carbon sequestration has been estimated that 25 tons carbon per hectare over 96 million hectares. You can very well see how much we are contributing towards the carbon farming. And the role of trees outside forest even says 934 TG carbon or 4 mg carbon per hectare in addition to the forests. Now talking about the scaling up agroforestry. It has been proposed that agroforestry and allied sector initiative, quantification of the ecosystem services from trees, promoting value chain for agroforestry, and innovation in agroforestry extension services has given in this. And in agroforestry and allied sector initiative, let me share with you the various initiatives which have already been built up in this mechanism. And the first one is National Agroforestry Policy. A brief has been shown to you in my previous slide. Then is farm-based production enterprise. It has to be blended up with agriculture and other all complete enterprises which are related with the farm-based production. Then is business incubation ecosystem by farmers. Seva model of Gujarat is an eye-opener that how youth, women, and even uneducated people can join together and develop a business incubation ecosystem. Then is consortium model of upscaling of agroforestry, which is already being taken under the ICAR-CAFRI of which is governed by Jhansi. And next is the consortium model of industrial agroforestry. This has also been done by the ICAR-CAFRI, and I know most of you are familiar with the presentations done by our industrial agroforestry people. And then this contract farming, designing and development of value chain based agroforestry. And small scale industrial enterprise, small and medium forest enterprise, social entrepreneurship in India. It looks to be new, but it is not. The social enterprise in India vis-a-vis agroforestry, I'll be sharing with you. Agroforestry, an option for farmer producer organization. Till date, we have not been giving a due focus to that, but the FPO, which is being giving a big boost by Government of India, we have proposed that it is also going to be used under the agroforestry. An FPO and one district, one product under our ODOP program, which all KVKs are familiar with. And then the submission of agroforestry. And the convergence of government scheme so that our extension mechanism in agroforestry can be given a big boost and a clear understanding. That's why this agroforestry extension framework mechanism is being proposed at the national level. Then is agroforestry extension advisory service. All of you are familiar with the extension advisory services you are giving in agroforestry. And so this has been divided into these 12 components. My dear friends, let me share with you, we prepared around 300-page document on this agroforestry extension framework mechanism. And when we were discussing with FAO as well as with the NARA, they requested to kindly make it a smaller document so that it can be easily read by everyone. And Dr. Arunachalam and myself made this an attempt to make it a smaller document, which is a part of having all these components already printed. It has got strategy objective, inbuilt evaluation component, collaboration between researcher, extension agents, and landholders, a whole of government approach, dealing with diversity, factor influencing success, identifying economic and other benefits, the best bet versus diagnosis and design. All the agroforestry people are familiar with D&D kind of techniques. So how the best bet versus diagnosis and design can be used for our agroforestry. This is also dealt in that, and then targeting additional audience, the extension advisory spectrum, knowledge and skill required by extension agents, and maintaining agroforestry extension and advisory program. It has to be properly maintained, otherwise it will lose it. I'm thankful to Dr. Arunachalam for sharing this particular slide with me that it shows that how the collaboration between researcher, extension, and landholders can be done in agroforestry in India. This shows that agroforestry has got all these components, having ICR, all departments, Atma, KVK, state departments, which include forest department and others. And the most important is farmer as a stakeholder. Then comes the factors influencing this success. Extension strategy for agroforestry aims at strengthening the capacity of landholder to deal appropriately with the risks and play an active part in research and development. That comes under operational research programs of rural development and other agencies in which we have been working in the last so many years. Engage in regular exchange of information with fellow tree growers and experiments. And is recognize the link between farm forestry and farm viability. Otherwise, you can now add it as a carbon farming too. Knowing the potential of their property thoroughly and developing an appropriate link with government and organizations and contributing to the long-term community benefit. Then the component of best bet versus diagnosis, which I spoke to you, it also speaks about that we already have online diagnosis and designing framework, which is already ready. Online, you can concentrate on this, and all KVKs as well as agroforestry people can easily use this. Using this for that, when we develop this framework, it helps us not only diagnosing, but designing, and also encourages the landholder for the ownership of the decision and contributes more effectively to the development of a culture of continuous learning. It is not that after training program it stops. It is always the continuous process of learning under the diagnosis and designing. Targeting additional audience, it leads to by specifically targeting at potential investors, whether institutions, corporations, or individuals, and agriculture consultant, forestry consultant, extension agents dealing with all this. And we have to also have the additional audience to the accountants and other financial advisors. Until unless we tell them the real intricacies and complexities of the agroforestry systems, our accountants and financial advisor will not be able to appreciate that. There is the local government and other land use planning agencies, local government including the state level agencies as well as rural development agencies at the local level. Then is tree nursery operators, which we have even dealt in our previous training program in Karnataka, and very successfully we have completed that. Then is suppliers of other inputs. We must be aware what are the suppliers and how and when we actually require them. And we have also to have additional members of the rural community as the targeting audience. Then comes the improving agroforestry extension program and processes. It is dealt under these 8 components, which include assessing target group needs, because our target group needs are altogether different. If you are targeting women farmers, the need is different. You are targeting youth, it is altogether different. I'll be discussing a little more about the youth and what is the status. Then is the PRA, which we all in extension program have been using that, and developing multi-institutional extension agroforestry network unit. And this is very, very important. It has to be multi-institutional, not only the state level institutions, but multi-institutional outside and inside the state. Developing and delivering extension programs, selecting appropriate content and method in program delivery. Every state has got a specific requirement for the delivery mechanism, keeping in view the ecological and agroecological regions, and improving women farmers' access to extension services, and implementing strategic extension campaigns. It has to be strategic, not only simple extension campaigns. Then is evaluating the extension program. This is most important because it gives us the feedback how we can improve and what component is lacking. It has also been developed online under this program of extension framework. Then comes the developing multi-institutional extension network, that is MEAN. M for multi-institutional, E for extension, A for agroforestry, and Net for MEAN. That MEAN does not mean the lower level, means meaning. It is proposed to establish a dedicated national level program focused exclusively on agroforestry extension. What it is going to have, a dedicated PMU for MEAN at center level can function as a facilitator by connecting all the existing stakeholders like SAUs, KVKs, TTCs, SDCs, etc. from the agriculture ecosystem as well as from the forestry system. The agencies, institutions from the forestry department like CAFRI, ICAR-CAFRI, SFRI, including state forest departments in agroforestry extension system. At the national level, ICR and ICFRE can function as 2 nodal agencies, mobilizing the resources from their respective divisions. And officials from both these institutions shall form the central managing team in the PMU. And various state level agriculture universities shall be reporting to this central team and piloting the agroforestry mechanism in collaboration with KVKs, TTCs, and other stakeholders. I will be presenting you the basic model, which also has been shared by Dr. Rachalam for this presentation. That includes activities, institutions, and output. It all about these activities, and these are the institutions. I don't think any of the institution is left out, because right starting from farmer, district level, panchayat village level, block level, district level, and also state level, and ready for the collaboration at any kind of level. The output starts here, and we have got ICT and the mass media support system already existing in our extension programs. And then comes role of state level institutions, identification of the cluster villages within each piloting state. We have already done under this program of UP and Karnataka, where the identification has already been done. From village levels to the national level, this PMU will be working on the extension mechanism. And we need to study the status, potential, and trend in production, processing, and marketing of the key agroforestry species, which has already been done. And CAFRI has already prepared the POP of most of the species which are ready for marketing as a key agroforestry tree species. Then is extension, identifying the extension machinery need to term of budgeting, infrastructure, etc. for smooth conduct of extension programs. Then is role of KVKs, Atma, TCCs, and skill development in this framework. It talks about the develop or modify area-specific training module in collaboration with the state-level universities. As recently in the training program, Dr. Chandraprabha has also stated that we must have in the local language. It is already made as a part of the extension framework mechanism which we are proposing to FAO, NARA, and Government of India. And next is creating awareness about the agroforestry practices by conducting workshop and session among farmers. Two have already been done under this program, under the Karnataka program, for which I compliment Dr. Chandraprabha, Dr. Bhaskar, Dr. Hanumantappa for conducting the training program excellently, please. Then is,
project assistants.
excuse me, kindly mute yourself so that there is no disturbance to the audience. And then is liaising with the Forestry and Agriculture Department to ensure that the training material is updated with later practices. And then TTCs and SDCs would consist of master trainers. And as pointed out by Dr. Rachalam in the last concluding session, that now we have got 70 master trainers or the ambassadors, which we have trained in 3-day workshop conducted by our GKVK Bangalore. Compliments to you. And they are going to be used as an ambassador of agroforestry in Karnataka. Then village level, mandal level, district level, state level, and national level, PMU, ICR, KVKs, NGOs, SAUs, and farmers, SFRIs, their KVKs and NGOs and farmers. All these institutions to help in marketing linkages for the produce. So we have to have a very strong preparation for all our economists working in this agroforestry or KVK program to have the marketing linkages information ready to be disseminated to these ambassadors as well as to the farmers. Role of NGOs and other village farming bodies. They have a specific role. NGOs will act as a bridge between the PMU team and the local community, facilitating two-way flow of information, not unilaterally, which is very essential for the success and extensive extension program. An institution will also benefit greatly from this indigenous knowledge, whatever they have, and experiencing and viewing and local community, because NGOs are more closely associated and working with them, and which adapt new knowledge and skill to establishing agroforestry practices. A single window system clearance and certification. Regulations, you all will be very, very pleased to know that right in 2020, the government has already resolved a regulation mechanism, particularly imposing of the state government for harvesting and transit of trees. This has been notified by Government of India under the Submission of Agroforestry in 2020. There is also a need to create a separate central level team focusing exclusively on regulatory processes at state level as well as for the national level, which will help in cutting into the transporting and selling of the agroforestry produce regulations. Then is provision for a single window 24/7 hotline support so that our farmers get encouraged and will help in adoption of agroforestry practices. Then the most important, another important component, or rather I should say, is farmer as entrepreneurship. Farmers as entrepreneurial environment, young farmers at a group entrepreneurship, and participation of youth for agroforestry upscaling. Social entrepreneurship in agroforestry is to be taken as a self-employment route for youth. Supporting youth access to networking and resources. We have already done a great exercise in our recent GKVK Bangalore in this three days training program, and the youth social entrepreneurship, and to make them aware about the potential and challenges, and cooperative movement is a good way which is coming up, and leveraging new technologies for youth social entrepreneurship, tailoring support network to the needs of young social entrepreneurs, and ensuring access to financial services and the conduct. Most important, I will be sharing with you, that is number is participation of youth in agroforestry upscaling. How it is going to be useful? My dear friends, the share of youth in global labor force declined 21% in 2021, as per the World Youth Report, which we got in 2021, that it has already declined 21% from 15% in 2018. It is a big challenge because our youth is going away from agriculture or tree-based in things or any of the rural development kind of thing. Youth labor force participation dropped 52%. That is, it is the global picture, that 573 million in 2009 to 42.9% in 2018. So that clearly shows that how much is the declining is happening now and how we can bring them back. Government of India is seriously taking this in various our ventures, which KVKs are already focusing at. There is a need to target this human resource for upscaling agroforestry and developing them as entrepreneurs. Our young agroforesters or the young farmers are going away because they want a quick gain. How we can develop such a unit that they get a regular employment, and so that they can have a self-employment system generated, which can be done through social entrepreneurship in agroforestry as a self-employed route for youth. Worldwide, approximately 560 million people live in agroforestry ecosystem with more than 10% tree cover, which equates to 31% of the human inhabited farmland. And India is no less than that. And growing trees on farm has become part of the small holders investment strategy in agriculture enterprise along with annual crop. Then is leverages new technologies for youth social entrepreneurship. It speaks about the NEET, that is not in employment, education and training. Lot many dropouts are there, and in our framework we have specially focused on, with the help of the skill development concept, that how this rate can be reversed over 10 to 15 years. And according to most recent data available, 185 million young people, around 30% of the young women and 13% of the young men, accounting to 22% of the total youth population, are not in employment, education or training. Means they falls as a part of dropouts or under the lower education level which they have. Then is this NEET, that is not in employment, education and training. Enormous untapped potential is there. We have to focus this to reach to 2030 agenda for our youth. This is another entrepreneur environment because we talk about the uncertainty. This uncertainty level keeping you various weathering condition, economic conditions, social environment or political environment leads to the joining of all these support system together in the farmer entrepreneurship model. And ensuring access to financial services. The following action can greatly improve the access for the youth under the social entrepreneurship. That is, reform the financial ecosystem. Like now we are already going on. Online things are happening in a great manner. And every person, most of them are now having their accounts built up in the bank. This is the initiative which the government of India has already taken, and it can act as a useful tool for us in the development of agroforestry activities. Employ a holistic approach, combines training and support. Till date, we have only undertaken our training program, but the support component is most of the time is missing. That is advisory services support. We can definitely give it. A very wonderful thing has been done by the trainees in the recent program, which was organized. They have themselves made a WhatsApp group in which the local extension people have also been made a part of it. It means Now we are already building up an advisory services themselves. Then they support youth people effort to build a credit history by offering saving incentives. Credit history means you have to have a proof of that. And proof is when you open a bank account, which is now most of the youth are already having, credit history is automatically built in and online credit history can be raised. Then comes support the development and adoption of innovations that can make financial services provision more inclusive. Because nowadays we talk about innovations, but the small innovations being done at each farmer field level can also be advocated. And the mechanism to assess financial product and services tailoring to the young people, because everybody wants online kind of things with the use of app. So our agroforestry app, which you all have already developed in CAFRI, can add up this component that how the support system can help to provide the financial product and support. And to ensure the young social entrepreneurs have access to impartial and accurate information, that is with the help of the apps and online kind of things. And activate measures that increase youth access to financial product. Government guarantee for loan. When you talk about guarantee for loan, and it means your asset level has to be mentioned, that how much asset support you have. That we have already tried to build up in our extension program, which leads to collateral-free loans for pre-approval clients in the field of agroforestry. And provide better social protection. We have to ensure protection in gender sensitivity into this program and also rural education consideration. Our youth education level has to be taken into account in our financial mechanism. This is, we all have institutional structure developed in National Agriculture Services. This is a very good tool which we can use in our this, because all FPOs, farmer to forest extension program, now a component of agroforestry has to be added into this aspect. Now we come over to our agroforestry and allied sector initiatives, which has got these 13 initiatives already mentioned. One is National Agroforestry Policy and its impact, farm-based production enterprise, business incubation ecosystem, which I briefly explained to you, consortium, and all these things which I also mentioned in the introductory slides. But let me share with you a little detail of that. That is farm-based production enterprise. In the recent years, you will be happy to know that our FPOs or our farmers are contributing more. But in general, the supplies wood from the State Forest Department has declined. But it is coming up a bigger way in the agroforestry concept, that is tree outside forest. Now we know that 105 million operational holdings are there in the country, and it is estimated as per scientific finding that 50% of India's wood supply is currently coming from non-forest resources. That is tree outside forest. That is agroforestry. Farmers mainly grow block or field bund plantation for commercial value. Few examples are given, which we all have seen in our KVK programs. Farmer also produce certain non-wood products, which including medicinal plants, fuel wood, pulp wood, and timber. These are the other incubations for ecosystem for farmers of a consortium mode, which I explained, but I wanted to give you a little explanation or details about the small scale industrial enterprise. You all must be aware, if not, let it be an eye opener to you, that forestry enterprise come under Khadi and Village Industries Commission's purview, which include handmade paper, manufacturing of katha or betel leaf, that is pan masala, manufacturing of gums and raisins, manufacturing of shellac, cottage, match industry, manufacturing of fireworks and agarbattis. They all come under the Khadi and Village Industries Commission. Bamboo and cane work, manufacturing of pulp, cups, plates, bags, and other paper containers, which you all have been using your programs, they all come under the Khadi and Village Industries. It means this network is already available. We have to add our product or the agroforestry produce into this. And then the manufacturer of the exercise book binding, enveloping making, register making, when you give anybody any envelope, it comes out of that. Then also the grass mat, which calls a khastatis, and the broom making, and collection and processing, packaging of the forest products, photo framing, etc. They all form already existing enterprise, which are there and which we have tried to add into this model of agroforestry framework. Small and medium forest enterprises. Let me give you something. Small scale forestry enterprises, which is given abbreviation in SSFE, play an important role in national economy. They are involved in forest products as well as processing a wide range of products. This sector produces a wide range of products in terms of poles, fuel wood, charcoal, saw timber, furniture, veneer, polywood, blackboard, fireboard, and the list is long and long and long. Then social enterprise in India. Agriculture provides livelihood to more than 70% Indian rural population and has a large number of social enterprise, with 44% of the enterprise launching in the year 2010 to 20. It means that a boost has been given. You can even say that in last decade, 50% have gone up. Now we are going to add it and going to take it to a next level. And recently, our Prime Minister talked about the natural farming or organic farming just 2 days back. And this is also our 1/3 of the agriculture enterprise provided on organic farming, nursery raising, and quality planting material production. Agroforestry is the basic. Agroforestry means growing trees and crops together. And in agriculture point, it says crop and trees together. When you talk about natural farming, it automatically, trees are a part of natural farming, and agroforestry is the actual scientific concept. And agroforestry social enterprise can be broadly categorized into these three: value chain pre-harvest, and then is post-harvest operation. So these all components are embedded into the agroforestry. And the third one is work with the dairy value chain. An animal is an integrated part of agroforestry system. So this value chain of dairy value chain can also be used under the agroforestry, which is already have been established in the very good manner. Agroforestry, an option for farmer producer organizations for the agroforestry activities. In India, 126 million marginal farm together operate 74 million hectares of agricultural land with half a hectare of average size of holding. And for a half a hectare of size holding, which agroforestry system can be done, it leads to various components which have been explained in this training manual on the agroforestry, as well as the field manual, which are prepared in this, that what system can be generated in the small land holding. 7,000 farmer producer organizations have been promoted in the country by various agencies, as per the Financial Express report. Means a good initiative has already been taken. We have to just harness this, particularly in our activities. NABARD alone has promoted 4 out of the 7,000, around 4,500 FPOs under various promotional initiatives. And NABARD is going a big way in helping and in supporting this agroforestry activity. During COVID-19, the Atmanirbhar Bharat, having medium and long-term solutions have been provided by the Government of India. The Government of India recently launched a new platform for warehouse and trading modules for the FPO, that is eNAM platform. Then FPOs with one district, one product partnership, that comes under ODOP. That this is also being taken up by all the KVKs, and I'm sure you all are aware about this program. And this is your guideline says for promoting 10,000 new FPOs with one district, one product is the motto. And then NABARD has already, NABARD and NCDC, that is National Cooperative Development Corporation, already has a scheme in creation of credit guarantee. And our Small Farmer Agri-Business Consortium is taking up a grant help from the funding. There is Agri-Market Infrastructure Fund. Schemes have also been enabled in the state and UTs for FPOs, that is AMIF, for developing of marketing and farmer level venture in the value addition infrastructure of farmer producing organization. Let me give you a brief about the Submission of Agroforestry, that is SMAF. It was launched in 2014, aim in complementary growing, complementarily role between agriculture crops. It is a complementary role, and it has the submission following five broad components: nursery development, quality planting material, and peripheral boundary plantation, low density plantation, high density block plantation, demonstration of agroforestry models, and capacity building and training. They all have embedded financial support system available under Submission on Agroforestry. The custodian of is the State Forest Department in implementation of this program. And my dear friends, State Forest Department has also opened up a lot of initiatives under this program, and successful models have already been underway in this come. And the convergence of government scheme, like we have SMAF, a successful system approach of cropping system, livestock development or development program, which needs convergence is NFSM, RKVY, NPOP, and NMSA. That is National Food Security Mission, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, National Mission on Oilseed and Oil Palm, and National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. Need to be joined because they have a little component of rural development and agriculture embedded, but agroforestry will have to be added as a big way so that we can help in specific activity of nursery development, quality planting material, which under this program of SMAF have been incorporated. Then comes overall framework showing an agile cycle of refinement and driven by structural learning. Like this program is a very IVLP, which you have already undertaken under KVK program, can be a boost for this. It talks about that characteristic of targeting, establishing then participatory or trial modeling, and scaling up methods for enabling governance and monitoring and assessment of the impact, which leads to capacity building. This is scaling up and scaling out and core learning program and long-term to be incorporated with the co-coordination, which can help in our knowledge, education, and skill experience enterprise. This is, we need to have a farm with these actors, institutions, agroecological concept, and disconnections identification, which will help in robustness, adaptability, and transformability in terms of agroforestry. And these 5 attributes, which is mentioned, it focused on farming system, challenges, essential functions, resilience indicators, and also resilience attributes, which under this extension framework have been incorporated for agriculture production, farm demographic, and governance, leading to the resilience and enhancing strategies in agroforestry extension framework. My dear friends, our Prime Minister has recently said, कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र किसानों में विश्वास पैदा कर सकते हैं. It means your role has already been appreciated, and we have these 2 most important schemes, Mera Gaon, Mera Gaurav, and Farmers First. And another component under SMAF is Har Med Par Ped. So these initiatives have already been taken up, and Government of India and you all have been working on attracting and retaining youth in agriculture, which will encourage them to take up agriculture and allied and service sector enterprise for sustainable income and gainful employment. 25 KVKs in 25 states have already been identified, and now they are going to build up this agroforestry extension framework in 200 to 300 agri-entrepreneurs, which is to be developed under this program. We in agriculture sector has already have got a strong media and IT support extension, which through various farmer portals and compliments to CAFRI Jhansi that they have also developed a media IT support system with the help of Agroforestry mobile app, which they have recently launched. And this will help them to use IT as well as conventional media together, and which is highly popular. And cyber extension model and scaling up is already available in the Government of India program. So my dear friends, this particular agroforestry extension mechanism framework is already available now. And we'll be sending you this version under the E module. Let me just share with you the E module which we have already developed. This module has got in the form of agroforestry extension as the E workbook, which we have prepared and is ready, which will be sending you all to the KVKs so that they can give their comments, valuable suggestions, so that before making it to public, we can public as well as to the Government of India, we can incorporate all these suggestions. So we'll be sending through CAFRI this agroforestry extension mechanism framework strategy paper to all of you, along with your feedback form, so that you can give us the feedback within 1 week's time, and we can incorporate them before submitting it to the Government of India and the FAO for taking further necessary actions. You can reach me under my Google site or also reach through CAFRI for this program. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much for your detailed and elaborative deliberations given and have highlighted and rather enriched all of us during this virtual meet. We are very, very thankful for your kind. And we have with us our stalwarts of extension, Dr. V.V. Shadamante sir. He has joined, former Director DDC Extension and stalwart of this extension in our country. So we are very
welcome,
happy, sir, that you have joined us. Now,
Namaste, sir.
We have with us Dr. Venkat Subramaniam sir. He's Director at ARI, Bengaluru.
Namaskar, sir.
Before that, he was ADC extension also, and number of posts throughout country. So, and is our stalwart in extension in our country, India. So, I would like to invite Dr. Venkat Subramaniam sir to kindly give his remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dwivedi. It's my pleasure to join in this important meeting. At the outset, my pranams to our Honorable DDG NRM and Dr. A.K. Singh, our beloved DDG and respected DDG Agriculture Extension, and again my senior colleague and my friend and beloved well-wisher Dr. Shadamate ji, Dr. Professor Atul ji, and Dr. Arnachalam ji, and Dwivedi, and all my KVK colleagues who are all with me. I can say that this is a timely startup and it's an initiative from our agroforestry team, and I congratulate at the outset, I congratulate Dr. Arnachal. My voice is audible, no? Correct, no?
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Arnachalam and his team. Reason being, you all know that today, Atmanirbhar, that is one of the mantra and slogan, we are all working for it. To achieve this, we need our resources within us and as well as strengthen the farmer's resources in his own system, for which we need to understand what is his potential. And agroforestry is one of the important components which is integrated into the farmer's farming system. You all know very well that this 5 component, that is 5J we used to tell. Jameen, Jal, Jameen, Janwar, Jungle and Janwar. Sorry, Jan. If you take care of this jungle, that is agroforestry, all other 4 components will be taken care of. For example, this is the one component we largely neglect. And if you see the ancient farming system and even Vedic agriculture, the farmers were largely integrated with the social forestry as well as the agroforestry. Now the term agroforestry we have coined, but it is the village forestry, or it is the jungle, that Haranya is the part and parcel of our social existence as well as our culture. Even for example, even some Purnima, we have to take food under the tree. That is, for example, you can say, this is all integrated in our culture. And another thing is we plant trees in the pond, around the pond. Again, in the village also, most of the festivals and the village temples are all located amidst the forest. That is, it's called social forestry. And this all a cultural integration which we have taken into our own agricultural system. That is very important. Reason being, if you see, already our Atalji is mentioning, once this agroforestry is getting strengthened, it adds not only this resources to the farmer, as well as it also generate various enrichment incentive, supplement of the nutrient to the land, and then it also helps to conserve the moisture, water, and it also takes care of the animals. When I was managing director of a company, that is Vijaya Milk Producers Federation, one of the biggest success we got is our agroforestry promotion as well as fodder promotion in the wasteland, as well as those land available within our chilling system, chilling centers, as well as our farmers' milk cooperative societies in the villages. This has created a lot of strength as well as resources in the farmer field by giving them the animals, the fodder, as well as the timber and other local resources needed for a dairy unit. So I'm not going to elaborate because we already listened to elaborate lecture from our Professor G. Now coming to the KVK and its integration with the promotion of agroforestry, it is a very important component, but we neglected it. At least we wanted to take up now, for example, we have got a KVK from our zone, Mandya and our Tumkur. It is integrated. Some of the KVKs also joined here. This zone has got a very good potential, sir. Reason being, Kerala, Lakshadweep, and Karnataka, the districts are all endowed with good potential of social forestry as well as skill and skill-based ecosystem. Under this context, we would like to take the three major programs of KVKs, that is good technologies which is rolled out from the Agroforestry Institute for its demonstration as well as testing in the farmers' field. Because integrated farming system is one of the important aspect of farming in the two states. When this social forestry or agroforestry technologies have been given to the KVKs, they can pick up some good technologies. For example, tamarind is one. I wanted to narrate on small success story of KVK. After when the concluding remarks, I will share with all of you. This KVKs will take up the promising technologies which they wanted to know whether it is suitable to the particular farming system locations. At least one technological option we will give in the coming action plan for the KVKs to undertake the on-farm testing or trial to know about the potential of this technology for integrating with the farming system which the farmers is practiced. Whether it's a buns or it is in the village level, wasteland development, whatever it is. Second one is some of the proven technologies are there, such as agroforestry based fodder production system and the use of the interspaces in the coconut, areca nut gardens. Very good potential is available. These two issues we would like to take it. And third one is the capacity development program. That is for farmers and rural youth. We will insist upon our KVK system to identify some of the good potential areas in which the KVKs can take up the capacity development program or awareness creating program, so that this important component, that is the jungle, that is agroforestry, it must be in the village level system, which has to be strengthened. That is only possible when the KVKs will take care of the requirement of the local situation, assess the local situation, and then what type of technological options, suitable interventions they can make it, and then they can train do the capacity development to the rural youth and then farmers. After that, they can see that it is implemented, sir. As I was mentioning, one good success story wherein the KVK where I was the head of the KVK in CTRA Rajamundri, that our agroforestry-based intervention, how it transformed the lives of the tribal farmers, I would like to share here so that my KVK colleagues will get the confidence what is agroforestry which these people are talking and how we are going to do it. For example, it's a Rampachodaram area. It is a tribal belt in the East Godavari comprising the other areas of the nearby district, Visakhapatnam also. But I am confining this particular work with East Godavari district, wherein the tribal, the important livelihood option for the tribal is tamarind-based activities, economic activity. Then when we went for the villages for technological interventions of our regular programs, we saw that the tamarind plays a major role, and the tamarind is giving the livelihood, food security for the and employment generation potential for the tribal farmers. When we assessed, the livelihood is under threat and their food security system is under threat. Reason being, almost 60% of the tamarind trees have been senile and they all get uprooted and their production is very less. Then we got an introduction of, we had a planning of planting around 25,000. Dr. Dinesh Tiwari, please mute yourself. Then 25,000 tamarind trees we wanted to produce and plant in the tribal areas, sir. But when we went, this is one of the important point I would like to make it. When we went for the implementation process, we could understand that there is no source of getting 25,000 periculum variety of tamarind, sir. So here is a participatory method wherein all the tribal farmers have been through our forest department as well as tribal development department. We wanted to have may just bring your attention so that cross talking I am just getting disturbed. And so what happened, sir, taking into consideration of the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University support, periculum variety, and then forest department, and then KVK and the tribal participation, we could able to raise 25,000 tamarind saplings, and then with the participatory approach of the tribal youth and then NGOs in the tribal area of ITD of Rampachodaram, we could able to plant these trees in this agency area, sir. After 3 years, when we assessed, close to 17,000 trees have been saved, and it is now around 12,000 to 13,000 trees are available. That has given a very good base, support base for the livelihood security of the tribal population, sir. Now, this is one example which I myself have involved, and such a beautiful examples we can also source from across the country, because this agroforestry is the important component which gives the color as well as which gives the resource base for the agriculture to thrive. This gives the resource base for the soil fertility to be maintained. It gives the basic resource or the support for the water conservation to be made. And this gives the security for the animals and our janwars to thrive. And then also it gives a canopy as well as wind breaking, and also it takes care of the other climatic preservation, climatic vagaries and wind and so many other things, sir. So it's a very important initiative as well as steps from the Agroforestry Research Institute. And our support is wholehearted, not only that, participatory. We give the best from our side so that at least something we can initiate and something we can achieve. It will be a great, I can say, beginning for all of us. And my sincere gratitude and thanks to all the participants. And we are really, this Purnima and the Dattatriya's birthday, we have now started a new beginning. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And as Dr. Subramaniam sir has told that this agroforestry includes all the things: soil conservation, fertility, livestock, all the things he has included in his deliberation. So, sir, we are very much thankful to you. My humble request to all the participants, please mute your mic Whenever you want to speak, you just unmute. Otherwise, this gives very lot of disturbances to our honorable speakers because they are getting disturbed. As sir has told, Professor Atul sir and Submission sir, that the gist of agroforestry can be narrated like this: Lakdi chara fal aur an, lakdi chara fal aur an, कृषि वानिकी है जीवन. Wood, fodder, fruit and grain, agroforestry is life again. Otherwise, we can say agroforestry is a life giver. Today is very auspicious day, that is Purnima, and this is the Jayanti of Ma Annapurna. As we are talking to give the food, fodder, grain to the human being, today we are observing the Jayanti of Ma Annapurna also. So this is very auspicious day to all of us. Now, I will like to request Dr. Atar Singh. He is a director at ATARI, Kanpur. Dr. Atar Singh Saab, kindly requested to give his remarks, please.
Good morning to everybody. Respected Director of CAFRI, Jhansi, Dr. Dwivedi ji, all Director Extension, Dr. Subramanyam ji, Director ATARI of Bengaluru. I think Atul Saab has given full exposure of extension work, what KVK has to do and what the existing system is expected. Similarly, some of the few points I would like to submit here. As you all know, that agroforestry is a very important component of the agriculture system. Especially the farmers understand, especially the woody and perennial tree and shrubs, and farmers very much concerned regarding the herbaceous crops, especially the grain, legumes, or grain crops, cereals, pulses. Not only this, the fodder crops also. This may be in the sense of tree as well as shrubs. And the system very well known because I have been at ICAR-CAFRI Jhansi with the colleague near to the CAFRI. Dr. Dwivedi ji is a good friend of mine. He morning reminded me to join the meeting. So the agroforestry is very well known by the people when the combination of the trees and the crops and the association is known as the agroforestry. And similar in case of silvipasture and agro-silvipasture systems are there. When we talk about the silvipasture system, that is very much prominent system at the CAFRI itself. When Raisa was working, he was having a very big herd of goats and small animals, and the grazing system was there. The silvipasture system with the different kind of grasses. There may be the grasses for the degraded lands, especially Sanchrus ciliaris, and then this other perennial grasses like guinea grasses, and then other leguminous grasses also there in the pasture system, silvipasture system. So this is the combination of livestock and crops. And secondly, the agro-silvipasture system. In that particular system, the trees, the livestock, and then crops with the combination of this type of system, it is prevalent in the different areas of the location is specific, but especially when we are talking regarding the Bundelkhand as well as our zone KVK Saharanpur. So in traditionally in district Saharanpur, the people are taking sugarcane crop, and the popular is very prominent crops there. Not only this, the fruit plants and the intercropping system with that in the terms of agroforestry, they are taking peach, they are taking, this mango, and then guava, and then lychee, and the interspecies are being utilized by the farmers in terms of that. And that is enhancing their production as well as income. Because in the whole system of the sugarcane crop, only farmer is getting near about 90,000 rupees per hectare. When he goes with this particular system, the agroforestry system, their income is increased like 4 times, near about 4 lakh rupees. So this is very, very much, beneficial system for the farming community in that particular area. Not only this, some dry zones are also there in Saharanpur district, and Bundelkhand, really the Jhansi is very nearby with the institute. So the people are very much associated with the institute, both the institute, not only the CAFRI, the ICAR-CAFRI also. So my colleague, KVK scientists, they are very much concerned regarding the capacity development of the farmers and taking the demonstrations in terms of different kind of modules. Not only this, the planting material is the need of the hour. The seed and the planting material is the very important component of the KVKs. And some of the KVKs, even they are having the crop capit areas. Earlier we have worked with the ICAR Jhansi, the national initiative of fodder development technology program has been initiated. So the fodder crops capit area is available most of the KVKs. Similarly, this type of module of agroforestry system is very much needed at the KVK, and the planting material, good quality planting material is can be provided to the local farmers so that their production and income can be taken there. So a lot of challenges are there, and out of that morning, Dr. Atulji told that the carbon content enhancement into the soil. So the soil and water conservation, the soil fertility management, and then other things can be taken for fodder, fuel, wood, timber, and the other kind of things, things can be generated by this particular system. And the farmer very much reluctant because two situations are there, arable and non-arable situations. So the arable situation, very few farmer are taking this kind of situation. But whenever the areas where waterlogged situation is there, the roadside areas is there, burns are there. So how this alley cropping and other type of systems that can be taken to enhance the production and productivity of that particular system. Not only this, raising the soil fertility enrichment by the later fall of the leaves, and the scientific thinking should be given for making the analysis of that. I think in this particular concern, the climate change is also playing very important role. So the trees, shrubs, plants also helping changing the natural environment or making the land sustainable and productive. With these few remarks, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, because another review meeting is going on. I'm also associated with at the time both the meeting. So I have shared my point of view here. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Atir Singh Saab, for giving your precious time. As you have told me in the morning that you have 2 or 3 days programs today. So it was very hectic schedule up to yours today. So we are, sir, very much thankful to you. Now we have with us Dr. S.S. Singh Saab, Director Extension, RLB CAU Jhansi. So, sir, we welcome you here, and I would like to request you to kindly give your remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Dwivedi ji, for giving me opportunity. Dr. S.K. Chaudhary ji, DDG NRM, Dr. A. Arunachalam ji, Director CAFRI, Professor Atul, Director Atari Kanpur and Bengaluru, FAO representative, NRA representative, dear participants. Before me, speakers have told many things, and most of the things have been covered. So I will limit myself to our area so that the time is not so much eaten. So we are Central Agriculture University located in Jhansi, and our main target area is Bundelkhand, especially for extension purpose. Although we have national mandate. So we know that particularly in Bundelkhand, the agroforestry has a very vast potential, And the share of horticulture and agroforestry in total income is less than 4% in Bundelkhand, and highest in crop, that is 62 to 82% according to this holding size. So in that context, the agroforestry has very much potential in the Bundelkhand, and particularly like district like Jhansi, Lalitpur, Tikamgarh, Chhatarpur, Panna, Damoh, and Banda. So we have a scope here to increase this forestry, although the arable land can also be included in this alley cropping mode, intercropping mode. And the Central Agriculture University, Jhansi, we have the Agroforestry College, and we are developing different models, particularly suiting to Bundelkhand and watershed area. And we are also developing the nurseries for the farmers and others for the benefit of the common people. And this program training the rural youth for skill upgradation and capacity building to become brand ambassador in the region has much more relevance, particularly our university, where our college is focusing on the agroforestry upscaling in the Bundelkhand region. And collaboration of Rani Lakshmibai Central Agriculture University in this context with this team, particularly CAFRI, has much more relevance. And we are also working with the FPO who are working on the agroforestry, particularly in Jhansi district. So that Dr. Atul has what presented, it has relevance with us. And in agroforestry extension mechanism framework, what the KBK people has a role that we have to see much more in that context. One my small experience when I was director at ARI Calcutta, there were some posts designated in different KBK in Odisha Agriculture University, Bhubaneswar, and I ensured as director at ARI that these posts should not be converted to any other post like horticulture and vegetable. So the district which we are having more potential in agroforestry, the KBK scientist was posted as man of agroforestry, and that has boosted the work of agroforestry in that district. I was also looking after the Andaman and Nicobar, and there the several work on the agroforestry was done, and that has given a tremendous increase in the farmers' income as well as the sustainability of the system. So what I want to say that we are very open to collaborate with this network, and we are working with the CAFRI, and they are in our close collaboration. So with this kind of this program, we will be more near to reach to the such kind of farmers. My best compliments to CAFRI and team and this total project. And thank you very much for giving me opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your kind deliberations. Now, I would like to request our colleague from Banda Agriculture University, Dr. N.K. Bajpayee, Director Extension, Banda University of Agriculture and Technology, for his kind remarks. Dr. Bajpayee, please.
Good morning, sir. Honorable DDG NRM, respected Director CAFRI, my colleagues, Director Extension CAU, RLB CAU, Dr. S.S. Singh ji, Director at ARI Kanpur, and Director Extension from Karnataka, and fellow colleagues. It's a very good time to share the views on regarding the agroforestry positions, conditions in the Bundelkhand regions. As our university is working in the 7 districts of Bundelkhand UP, and one more district has been added with the KVK, that is the Prayagraj. And the present condition of Bundelkhand is very different from other part of the UP, because the population of in the Bundelkhand is very thin. Moreover, the land holding is also very different from other part of UP. So the scope of agroforestry in the Bundelkhand region is as such in very alarming conditions and requiring also the attention of the people. The university as such help in this condition because we are having the agroforestry college in our campus, which is having, maximum number of faculty in the country, particularly in the College of Forestry. And besides that, we are having one NARP research center in the agroforestry also. So the condition wise, we are in the positions, but we need the little guidance from the CAFRI side so that we can reach to this area in the field of agroforestry. People are growing the plants in their burns or in their villages or in their fields, but they are not in the planned conditions. And many plants, many trees, many variety you can say are in the extinct conditions also. They need the little conservation or nourishment for this also. So conditioning all these, we are in the very infant stages of, our university is a very new university, and we are also in the very beginning conditions. So we need the proper framework of the research under the umbrella of CAFRI or the ICAR-CAFRI, so that we can also grow and help the people of the Bundelkhand regions. This condition as such is of the semi-arid conditions, and most of the plants which are growing over here, they are the acacia natures, and neem and other ficus species are very much prevalent over here. So conditioning all these, the timber plant, the plants which can serve the purpose for the timber to the farmers, or the fodder also to the animals of this area, can serve can help the people of these conditions. So my submission is that we want to have had the good guidance from the CAFRI peoples as well as the other people who are working in the agroforestry in the country, so that we can help to the people of this place. I have been given a chance to share my view. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. R.P. Dwivedi, who is very senior scientist and had been a mentor for me in my young age. So I thank him that he has given me a chance to share my views. Thank you very much, sir. And for all the colleagues who are in the this workshop or virtual meeting, they are also requested to help each other so that our people can be enriched and we can help the farmers to double their income or to more economic empowerment. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Bajpeji, for your kind elaboration and views for agroforestry. Actually, we are very lucky that we have two universities. One is Central Agriculture Universities, another is Banda Agriculture Universities, and both have jurisdiction of all 7 districts of this Bundelkhand plus 7 districts of Madhya Pradesh. So from their KVKs, from their nurseries, it will be very lucky draw to the farmers to get the improved plant seedlings. So thank you very much for your kind elaboration. Thank you, please. Now, actually, I discussed with Director Extension, Dr. Mittal Shah. Now he's in charge, Vice Chancellor there. So he advised me to talk to Dr. Gopal Singh, his Joint Director, but he is not available. They are in Meerut. So KVK, Saharanpur, Dr. Kushwaha is there. IK Kushwaha is there. As Dr. Gopal Singh ji told me, Dr. Kushwaha will represent Meerut Agriculture University. So I would like to request Dr. IK Kushwaha ji, please give your remarks. Is Dr. Kushwaha is there? Earlier, I have seen that he has joined. Anyway.
हाँ सर नमस्कार सर, प्रणाम सर.
प्लीज carry on.
हाँ सर, हाँ लीजिए सर. हमारे कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र में डॉक्टर सुखदेव सिंह जी हैं.
ओके
जो एग्रोफॉरेस्ट्री का देख रहे हैं सर. उसके साइंटिस्ट हैं. ठीक है ना सर, लीजिए बात कर लीजिए. हाँ डॉक्टर साहब, गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून, जो भी कहें. आई हैव हियर्ड अबाउट यू ए लॉट, वेरी गुड. एंड व्हाट अबाउट माय सेंटर एज वेल एज KVK Saharanpur? This area, are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yes, you are audible. You are audible.
Audible. My area is totally Saharanpur is under popular cultivation And this popular cultivation is to first year with sugarcane, and after that second year popular is under wheat. This system is prevalent here. But sorry to say, here the sugarcane is not going to be replaced by any other crop rotation. Sugarcane is much more prevalent here in Saharanpur. So this is about whole story about agroforestry here. Poplar is more prevalent as compared to eucalyptus, etc. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your kind advice.
Thank you, sir. Dwivedi ji, lot of. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Actually, I discussed with Dr. Deva Kumar, Director Extension, but he is on leave and he told somebody will be joining this. But to me, I am seeing Dr. Govind Gowda. So please, Dr. Gowda Sahab, please give your remarks.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, I am Dr. Govind Gowda, working as senior scientist and head of Tumakuru district. So we know that Karnataka is having 43,382 square kilometer of agroforestry, and which constitute about 20.11% forestry share. And in Tumakuru, we are having a 10,597 square kilometer of agroforestry, which constitute 12% of the total cultivable area. And especially when it comes to the Tumakuru district, it is a dry district wherein the annual rainfall is ranged from 4 to 500 mm, and this is highly suitable for agroforestry. And already the majority of the farmers, they are practicing the agroforestry, and wherever the land, the barren land is there, the department is having the forestry land is available. And when it comes to the farmers, here the most suitable species for the this region is mainly, as I already our Atari director Subramaniam sir told, the tamarind is the most suitable species in this region, and majority of the farmers are also growing tamarind. And as we are promoting this tree in the form of agroforestry also, and especially our university is having a variety that is called as variety. That is every year they are producing 25 to 30 lakhs of seedlings farmers from the university side. As a KVK also, as of now, from the last 2 years, we have distributed 5,000 seedlings of this tamarind. So definitely, in a drought season, the farmers are replacing this coconut tamarind tree. So other tree species which are suitable to this region is jackfruit. Again, jackfruit is a promising tree which has a drought tolerance, and it will grow very well in this region. And with respect to some of the forestry seedlings like Melia dubia and even mahogany, red sandalwood, and this one teak, all those seedlings are very much suitable in this region. Definitely, in this the right time, the agroforestry intervention you have brought, and it is very good intervention, so that as a KVK team we can take up this intervention suitably with the assistance of our university Directorate of Extension, and also with the assistance of our director. Right, sir, this is very good intervention. We are ready to take up this component, and we are ready to train up the youths and also the farm women who are the major constituents of this region. Definitely they will take forward this if we empower them. So thank you very much, sir, for this opportunity. Thank you very much for our Director of Extension and also Atari Director and the organizers. Also, I am very much thankful to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Gowda Sahab. We have Dr. Naresh from KVK Mandya. Is Dr. Naresh is there? Okay. No problem. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Nishi Rai from KVK Jhansi. I think they have joined, but maybe due to busy schedule. Okay. So, we have with us Mr. Chandra Prabha, consultant with State Mission for Agriculture, Agroforestry, Karnataka. So, if I am audible, so I request him, please give your kind remarks.
Good morning to all of you, sir. Special thanks to Dr. Atul, sir. Elaborately, the manual has been prepared with a lot of inputs from many parts of India, sir. But 2-3 points I would like to suggest, sir, so to say. See, in all KVKs, generally they have many schemes or programs or the trainings for the farmers only. With respect to horticulture side, so I request in each at least 2 to 3 hours inbuilt with their own syllabus, sir. That is the one thing. Second thing, sir, action should be initiated to treat all crops grown on agri lands as a agri products. So, which ease out many issues faced by the farmers, particularly with respect to trees, sir, because that is a very important aspect to achieve our national forest policy or the 33% what we are suggesting according to policy. When we consider this as a agri products, then so much regulations in different states, it will be taken care, and farmers will be automatically encouraged to grow more their needed trees rather than only oriented towards industries or whatnots. So they should have a multiple species. Maybe all species are valued, maybe fruit, maybe medicinal value, maybe timber, maybe firewood, maybe fuel fodder. So many aspects are there that everybody, even farmer, they know physically. But due to these regulations in each state or different in particular context, so it is very difficult. Farmers unnecessarily, they are, even though they know, they are not willing to cultivate. So it is better to treat at least wherever non-forest area, the tree outside forest, what we call, if they grow any tree, it should be treated as the farm product. Then so much we can increase the biomass throughout the country, and we can achieve the 30%, sir. And particularly we have RSKs in our state. That means Raita Samparka Kendras. That is a kiosk actually for any information regarding agriculture and allied things. But there is no forestry component there or the forestry expertise in that RSK. If this RSK person is to be trained with the forestry aspect also, forestry in the sense agroforestry aspect also. So that will be easy for any farmer because regularly they will be interacting with these RSK units in the states. So they will get all type of information. That will be another good thing. And we have a GAM Panchayat system, sir, under rural development schemes. So all Panchayat development officers should be educated or trained with respect to this agroforestry aspect also, so that they will have a close information system. And they can automatically develop a WhatsApp group or whatnot. And any manual, if we prepare, it should be in a local language. And we should have a more exposure trips and models to show them. And the marketing linkage automatically through ENAM, if we do it, definitely we can achieve, by another 10 years, we can achieve around 33%. So that is my total feeling. Anyway, FPOs are coming up. Definitely we can strengthen the FPOs regarding agroforestry. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, before going ahead, we will listening to our stalwart extension professor Sadamate sir, then our director sir. But in between, would like to have open discussion, because this pilot project is going to start in Mandya, Tumkur, then Jhansi and Saharanpur districts through FAO and NARA. So it was planned that let us have interaction with all the KVKs, director Ataris, director extension of RLBCU, then state universities, and our KVK colleagues. So now, those who are interested to give their remarks or comments. So this is open from anybody from any KVK. They are welcome. They are welcome to give their views related to agroforestry. As you know, Professor Atul sir has told and shown that carbon farming in his field. So this is more or less natural farming, and India is practicing natural farming since ages. Of course, the word agroforestry is new. Word Krishi Vanki is new, but the practice is very old. Our farmers, our ancestors, they are practicing it. Even all our hill states, whether it is Himachal, Uttarakhand, Northeast, there is totally carbon free. I mean, this in a natural farming. So that is very important. But since tree cover is reducing day by day, so agroforestry is the only and only solution to increase the tree cover outside the forest. So I would like to invite any participants, all are welcome to give their views, remarks, whatever they like.
Good morning, sir. This is Dr. Naresh from KVK Mandya.
Okay, welcome, Dr. Naresh. Actually, I recalled you, but no problem. Welcome.
Yes, sir. Now, what is the role of KVK now? How to go about it? How many years this project? All those modalities I want to know, sir.
Right.
Just myself, Dr. Handa, I'll just like to inform that in this project, already it is a pilot project. Just India adopted this agroforestry policy in 2014, as I told. And still, the agroforestry has not been promoted up to the scale what we are thinking. So for this, FAO and NARA has come out with this project that how our rural youth can be trained and they can be taken, they can take agroforestry as an entrepreneurship, or they can have their livelihood and take the agroforestry to the next scale. For this, they have started in 2 states, Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh, and 2 districts in each state, Mandya and Tumkur in Karnataka, and Saharanpur and Jhansi in Uttar Pradesh. And initially we have identified only 6 tree species. In Karnataka, we are promoting sandalwood and Melia dubia, along with the biofuel species Pongamia and Neem and Amla. And in Uttar Pradesh, it is poplar and Melia along with Neem and this Amla. So the main objective of this is already one training program with the help of Karnataka Submission of Agroforestry and the US Bangalore. We conducted the training program for the 70 rural youth of Karnataka, 35 from Mandya and 35 from Tumkur from 14 to 16 December. So now they have been trained, but the now objective is to their hand holding and how they can promote the agroforestry and attract other rural youth toward the agroforestry. In this context, Dr. Atul has developed a training manual as well as this extension strategy paper. So today's meeting main objective was that we want your views that how these extension mechanisms can be further developed. This any more things are required in this extension mechanism, and how we can take up to the grassroots level the agroforestry can be taken, so that other districts and state governments can also learn from this project that promotion of the agroforestry at the lower level. So this is the main objective of this project is that.
Dr. Dwivedi, unmute yourself, please.
Sorry, I forget, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Randa. Sir, actually, Dr. Gowda was telling that they are working in the area where there is a rain-fed, means dry seasons are more, conditions are more. So that is a challenge, but that challenge has to be converted into an opportunity through tree cover, we have to give the tree species, those who are liking, they require very less water. Very less water. So on that condition, we have to convert this challenge into opportunity. Thank you, Atul sir, for reminding me, because I started speaking without doing my this unmute. Thank you.
Sir, my request is that since in our area tamarind is highly drought tolerant tree species, you can kindly include that tamarind also in the package.
Sure, sir, sure. Total in agroforestry policy, there are more than 25 species identified, but these are just 6 species on which, based on the experience of the state missions and the forest departments, we have just taken these 6 species as a prominent, but other species are also to be promoted.
Yes. Since it's also economically viable, sir, this tree. That's why I am requesting you. Thank you.
Sir, one small request, our IRC is going on. May I take your permission to leave the meeting and then I can go and participate in the IRC?
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So is there any more views? Actually, we have invited FAO and NARA also, send the link. So if somebody is there representing FAO and NARA, they are also welcome to give their views at this meeting. So may I, sir, may I go ahead?
Yes, Dr. There seems to be no one from the FAO and NARA in this meeting.
So now I would like to request our most respected stalwart of extension, Dr. V.V. Shadamate sir, former DDG extension, ICR. Sir, this is my humble request to you to give your kind remarks.
Thank you, Devadi sir. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my designation was never a DDG extension. I was, former advisor to agriculture in the planning commission. I'll just, put it straight. Yeah. Honorable, DDG Ganariam, Dr. Arunachalam, Professor Dividiji, and friends. And at the outset, I must compliment Dr. Atul for a wonderful spread work in bringing out that manual for supporting this pilot. And I also compliment all the stakeholders for promoting this very important initiative. Maybe we'll try to capture how these pilots are working in Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh, and those kind of learnings we will try to capture as we proceed. And I'm very happy that FAO and NRA and our Agroforestry Center are also involved and they're leading the mission. Much of the things have been mentioned. But I have, maybe at the cost of repetition, I have some submissions to Honorable DDG Ganariam and Arun. Number one is, particularly in these pilots and around these pilots, we may try to develop possible linkages with state government side and involve good number of extension functionaries, from these, blocks or districts, and have to have a reorientation strategy, on agroforestry, maybe on the cluster basis or on, Sampark Kendra basis. That is number one. planting material is, to be seen in a very close situation, because these perennial kind of trees will have to have a good quality stuff, so that farmers develop confidence as we progress. KVKs will have to have a great responsibility of proving economics of agroforestry by promoting at the same time. We may have to see what kind of feedback is coming from the farmers from these pilot districts or blocks of the way. What are their perception about incorporation of agroforestry as an enterprise with their ongoing farming system? Also, we may have to see that as we progress in the block extension plan or in the cluster extension plan, wherever there is potential, the agroforestry should be reflected adequately. At the same time, being a pilot project, we need to have a good funding line, because we are getting into a promising area which will make a difference to the farmers at the grassroots level. But the funding line will have to be streamlined, and funding line will have to be shared with the participating farmers, because that will develop a lot of confidence amongst the stakeholders to go for that kind of innovation. Also, the university outreach programs, KVK outreach programs, the ICAR Institute outreach programs will have to be focused, particularly in Mandya, and then you mentioned Tumkur, and then 2 more districts in Uttar Pradesh. I believe these 4 districts will have to have a little reoriented agroforestry plans driven by the KVKs on the grassroots level, supported by extension services from the field extension side, like Atmas, etc., etc. I must also mention here that as we proceed, perhaps the NGOs from that areas, reorientation of RSKs, particularly in Karnataka, because RSKs are very established institutions, as Dr. Chandraprabha has mentioned. At the moment RSKs are involved, the state government is involved at the grassroots level. Also, we may have to see what the entrepreneurs were trying to implement these interventions and getting and demonstrating the best out of it from the pilot. And as we progress, if there are a sizable number of farmers in a given cluster or in a given block, then perhaps we may have to initiate empowerment of farmers by organizing groups or farmer organizations and so on and so forth. But that should come not immediately. That should come a little later. Let us try to prove the economics of agroforestry through our regular demonstrations, etc. Let there be a sizable number of farmers coming up in a cluster or in a, and then try to organize them as empowered group. I must also mention here that, and Dr. Chandraprabha has made it very clear, that support systems available in the villages like Gram Panchayat or a Taluka Panchayat or a Block Panchayat, they will have to be taken with us, so that the small experiment is demonstrated, is owned, and is canvassed by the rural institutions. That apart, I was being in extension services pretty long time, I have a very strong submission that what matters is, on the production side, the research and extension linkage, the technology, the identified species, and the incredible input support services, etc., etc. But when I have to prove the economics of the, innovation or a combination of enterprise, then, I will have a very strong linkage with, marketing system. Divedi sir, am I audible? Hello, am I audible, Divedi sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll just take 2 more minutes. Since this is a pilot project, and Dr. Divedi sir and Arun, under the guidance of DDG, NRM, FAO, etc., good number of things are flowing down. Perhaps this is the right time to document the initiatives, particularly in the selected districts and selected blocks or selected hoblies. The kind of species we are trying, the farmers who are coming forward to try this experiment, then the extension support services which are getting ready, and more importantly the training and capacity building of those farmers and field functionaries, and also our respective KBK subject matter specialists is very, very important. It's very important. Maybe for Dr. Arun, hello. There is some crosstalk.
KVK Rampur to mute, please.
Yeah, I'll just conclude by saying that since we are beginning on a very promising note, and there are international partners are also with us, like the FAO is there, and then but NARA system is there. I must submit that what all we are doing should be documented very nicely, because after 1 year or 2 years it becomes a mirror and it becomes a reflection of our efforts. And Atul sir, and Arunachalam, if you kindly agree, I think maybe out of my own for my own learning on extension principles, I would like to be I would like to visit these experiments, particularly in Karnataka, and maybe one district in Karnataka and one in UP as we proceed. Extension arrangements are on the ground. Maybe I'll be very happy to be around Dr. Atul, and see those KVKs, how they are getting ready. Maybe we can have a word with respective ATARI directors also. And because this is the right time to capture our readiness to integrate this experiment in our extension strategy, and thereby linking the public extension services, private extension services, non-government organizations, entrepreneurs, etc. will be very important. Very important. With these just initial remarks, I will stop here, and I will be in touch with Dr. Atul and Dr. Arun and DDG sir as we proceed. So I'll conclude at this point of time, and if required, I'll get in touch with other seniors and see how best we can flow down our experiences and wisdom at the grassroots level in those selected pilot districts. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I am sorry for using word DDG. Actually, 2-3 DDGs are listed. So instead of saying Farmer Advisor Planning Commission, I am sorry, sir. I told like that. I am sorry.
Thank you, sir. But I was very happy to listen to Atulji and the experts.
Right.
And it's a good initiative that where I can also put my little experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Your kind deliberations as you have highlighted that we should start documentation of initiatives, then reorient our these KVKs. But sir, my suggestion towards KVK is there. KVKs, they are getting very much pressure from all sides.
I know.
We used to say double engine Sarkar, but they are getting double doses, rather multiple doses from all sides. This is my personal experience with my colleagues. Central government is saying KVK will do this. State government is saying KVK will do this. Even line department peoples like GM collectors, they are giving very much pressure to the KVKs. Now the question is, we are going to promote agroforestry, no doubt. But at least forestry, agroforestry, horticulturist, three people are must in any.
Yeah.
So this is my humble request to our policymakers, to planners at the top level, peak level, that these resources, human resources, at least experts, they need to be provided at every KVK, because they are having, one of my colleagues, Nisi Rai, madam, I tagged, she told that they are preparing some list related to this, what is called, voter writing. They are busy. So now every work is going to be given to the KVKs. So we used to listen double engine Sarkar, that is good. But there should not be double pressure on KVKs also. This is my personal views.
Dr. Dwivedi,
I agree.
Yes,
Dr. Dwivedi, as a former director extension, I always used to say, take it as a compliment.
Right, sir.
That everybody is focusing on us. So
thanks, sir.
All KVK people, all the best.
Right, sir. Right.
And we have an honorable thing to have Sadamate sir with us. So we can do everything.
Right. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dev sir. Thank you very much.
Now, I would like to request our director sir, Dr. A. Arunachalam sir, for his kind remarks. Dr. Arunachalam sir, yes, sir, please.
It is noon already, so good afternoon. It's great to see thick friends across, but virtually. Dr. Sadamate, great well-wisher of mine and a mentor for all of us. And Professor Atul is here. Of course, Director Extension from Banda, Director Extension from RLB CAU, and of course from Meerut also representatives have joined. It's noble discussion that we were having for a cause of enabling one of the oldest forms of natural farming practices in this planet Earth. Name a country, this practice of agroforestry exists in varied typologies. And so, as was also made, mention was made that it is a old practice and new science. So that goes well, and therefore anything which is new needs a push. And that push also happened in the form of a gesture from our Honorable Prime Minister also, through his connotations, slogans, and also gestures in various platforms that her made per paid. Number one. And number two, and recently 2 days ago, there was a push for natural farming, which was appealed to every individual citizen of the country by Honorable Prime Minister from Gujarat National Farming Conclave. So, what else we can advocate when we have the natural farming method of agroforestry, which encompass the three principles of mitigating climate change, that is reduce, recycle, and reuse, is possible only by integrating trees. Now the question comes, the extension part. We have the models in place. We have the institutions in place. For example, Dr. Chandraprabha is here. He knows how the government of India is trying to push agroforestry through the Submission on Agroforestry under the National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, and which is one of the missions under the National Action Plan on Climate Change. And so we have a very larger mandate which is being monitored by the PMO, and next week we have a PMO presentation on all these national missions under the National Action Plan on Climate Change, where a mention will also be made on this submission on agroforestry. Now, we are all here for discussing a strategy framework that can possibly be rolled out and adopted for training the trainers. That is how we initiated a training program for Karnataka, and Chandraprabha sir is here. He has been instrumental in enabling that 70 human resource that could be pooled for taking the message of agroforestry across to the public, and it was done in a bilingual mode. Professor Atul was able to give the framework, and the translation part was happening through the University of Agricultural Sciences and the KVKs in Mandya and Tumkur districts. So it was a very grand program, and we strongly believe they are going to take the message across to the public, and then we will be able to see some transformation on the ground as far as agroforestry is concerned. And today also Professor Atul made an elaborate description of the strategy paper that has been prepared and for this particular meeting. And if you have, and I'm sure we are going to be circulating the e-module of that paper to all of you, and then we look forward for any kind of a comment. It could be to improve, for deletions also. If you feel that there are some redundancy, that also can be done. So this is going to be a collective exercise, and the matter was taken in front of Honorable DG ICAR and DDG NRM of the ICAR headquarters. And we had a exclusive meeting last year with the National Rainfed Area Authority and the FAO India office. In that, we agreed that the FAO expressed their interest to support this preparation of these training manuals and documents, and then piloting them in some of those districts in the country. And so that is how the FAO came into this rescue of pushing agroforestry. And then the National Rainfed Area Agency is the institutional arrangement that FAO could make to enroll the money to us, and we are the knowledge partners in the entire technical cooperation project between FAO India and our NARA and also ICAR. So that is how these documents are ready, and we know the strength of our agricultural extension system, and we are known for that. In fact, we are known in the country for that, and none other than the supreme leader of this country made it several times a mention about the Krishi Vigyan Kendras in his speech, even in the recent natural farming conclave. Of course, ICAR Institutes was also mentioned, but there were special mentions made by both Honorable Prime Minister and also the Honorable Governor of Gujarat, Shri Devraj ji, regarding the role and contribution of KVKs. So we are all proud to have this extension arm to extend our technologies and make a difference on ground, to enable and handhold the farmers at all levels, and then finally transform our scientific knowledge into action on the ground. So it's a very, very noble cause that the extension scientists are doing. And I'm sure the Atari, directors in Bengaluru and Kanpur are also here. They are going to take it across to the respective KVKs to enable our piloting project successfully conducted on field. That's the expectation that we have. And as Dr. Sadamate said, so we can also think about looking onto the ground level gaps are the strength, whatever way, it can be plus and minus. We can come out with those papers also, working paper, so that the government can really be apprised of the strengths, weaknesses, and challenges and opportunities that we have using the existing framework of extension. And then we all know, there was a mention several times made that forestry also should be taken on board. So the Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education got inspired by the extension framework, institutional framework arrangement in ICAR, and they are also promoting One Vigyan Kendras. So that is how this KVK model is having institutional impact on ground. So it's going to be a win-win situation for all of us to work across in varied forms and formats for a particular cause of agroforestry. So with strengths that we have already, we will be able to sublimate the weaknesses and turn the challenges into opportunities and make a difference in the country for agroforestry. And we are very proud. India is the leading country or the pioneering country to have this national agroforestry policy, and several other countries are following us. So we need to make a difference on ground. So this is one of the kind global message that we have given for not only mitigating the impacts of climate change, but also to secure the livelihoods of the farmers on ground as a nature-based solution. And that is where agroforestry stands. And it's mostly the one of the kind, first of the kind, historic integrated form of science that human being ever had in this planet. So we must all be happy and proud to be associated with such a practice, and must make a difference on ground by integrating trees, crops, and animals in one unit area and reap the harvest. Definitely, it is going to be a doubling of farmers' income coming true country. So with this, I hope and expect all of you to send across your comments, and we will pool and then incorporate and strengthen this document. And I request each KVK to identify a person if he or she wish to take up a special capsule course on agroforestry, so that in case if you do not have agroforestry scientists in the KVKs, ICAR-CAFRI will be happy to train them and give them a capsule course so that they can take the message of agroforestry in vivid form across to the stakeholders. So this is my humble submission. So Ataris can take this note, and if you need to develop the human resources in the respective KVKs in your jurisdiction, ICAR-CAFRI will always be coming forward to develop those human resources. And special thanks to Sadamate sir and Professor Atul, Director Ataris, Venkata Subramanian, and Atar Singh, and of course Chandraprabha sir is here, Director Extension from Banda is here, SS Singh Saab. So they're all the key players, on these kind of subject matters with the national viewpoint, experience and exposures on ground. So we need to pool our knowledge together to transform the lives and livelihoods of the farmers through agroforestry. Thank you so much. I have a very great expectation from all of you.
Thank you, Director Sir, for your kind remarks. As you have told that agroforestry is a solution, nature-based solution for human being. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to request Dr. Priyanka Singh, Scientist Agriculture Economics at CAFRI, to please propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. I take this occurrence to thank the panel. On behalf of ICAR-CAFRI, I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates for their presence and their contribution for developing extension mechanism for promoting agroforestry activities. Heartfelt thanks to Dr. Atul sir. Today we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts and agroforestry extension framework, and this will surely be going to encourage the farmers in adopting agroforestry. Thank you so much, sir. I want thanks to Dr. Venkatesh Subramaniam sir, Dr. Atar Singh sir, Dr. S.S. Singh sir, Dr. M.K. Vajpayee sir, Dr. Govind Gowda sir, Dr. S.D. Singh sir, Mr. Chandra Prabha sir, Dr. Naresh sir, for sharing their inspiring words with us in the today's meeting. I would like to propose hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Vidhi Sadamate sir for gracing today's meeting. Thank you so much, sir, for your interesting and thought-provoking address. I would like to express my profound gratitude to our director, sir, Dr. A. Arunachalam, sir, for his continuous support and guidance. I would also like to thank Dr. A.K. Handa, sir, and Dwivedi, sir, for their continuous efforts in making this meeting fruitful and successful. Thank you. Thank you so much to all the participants.
Thank you all once again.